The Indians take on the Blue Jays, 3:07 p.m. Eastern start time. The Toronto Blue Jays are minus 270, totals 9.5, juice to the under. The Indians are plus 225 for some money line cash. And if you like Cleveland on the run line, they're minus $1.25, catching the 1.5. Eli Morgan for Cleveland, Robbie Ray for Toronto. And following yet another 3-2 day on my Patreon website yesterday, guys, that's going to make it our 6th straight winning day on that Patreon page. Now, we're 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily pick tier package plays on that Patreon site. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 5-1 in our last 6 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. We currently have over 700 members who are signed up and active on that Patreon site. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, link for that page is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Robbie Ray is 9-5 thus far in this season, 3.04 ERA and a 1.06 whip. The lefty has also struck out 150 batters. Now, Toronto's currently on a 4-game winning streak, and they're first in the majors in home scoring. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is batting .327 along with 33 home runs. Vladdy's also leading the league with 83 RBI, along with a league-leading 1.078 OPS. Marcus Semion's also hit 25 homers and knocked in 66. And of course, needless to say, this Toronto squad is also leading the majors in home hits. They're taking on a Cleveland squad who dropped 6 out of their last 9 themselves. And they also rank in the bottom 10 in walks allowed. Eli Morgan's just 1-3 on the year with a 7.47 ERA and a 1.37 whip. Meanwhile, hitting-wise, Cleveland's in the bottom 5 in hits on average per game. They're being held to just 7.4 hits per 9. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Cleveland's last 4 road games got over the total. They're also 30-23 to the over for the entire season when traveling. Meanwhile, Toronto's 27-20 to the over at Solon Field. I'm going to lean toward the Toronto Blue Jays minus 1.5 and the over 9.5 runs. Next matchup, Phillies Nationals, 7:05 p.m. East. Philadelphia's minus $1.15, numbers 8.5. Ranger Suarez on the bump for Philly, Josiah Gray for Washington. Despite a very small sample size out of Gray this year, the Nats have still won 4 out of their last 6 ball games, and they also still have a winning record at home. As a matter of fact, this Washington pitching staff is in the top 10 in fewest walks allowed at home. They're also in the top 10 in hits on average per game offensively. Juan Soto is batting .299 with 18 homers and 58 ribbies. The outfielder is also in the top 10 in the league with a .933 OPS. Josh Bell's also hit 17 homers and knocked in 55. The Nats are in the top 3 in the game in fewest home strikeouts at the plate. They're taking on a Phillies club who's winning just 39% of their road games. Now, the Fightins have also lost 4 out of their last 6 ball games, and that includes a pair of losses to the last place Pirates. This Philly lineup is striking out nearly 10 times a game. Meanwhile, their pitching staff is in the bottom 10 in hits allowed. Ranger Suarez is making the start out of the bullpen today, and despite some really good numbers, the lefty only has 40 1/3 innings of work under his belt this year. Now, total-wise, Phillies 28-25 to the over when they bat first. The Nats saw 2 out of their last 3 at home get over the line as well. I'm going to lean toward the Washington Nationals plus $1 and the over 8.5. Next matchup, O's Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees are minus 260, totals 9.5. Andrew Heaney for New York. Jorge Lopez for Baltimore. Now, Lopez is just 2-12 on the year with a 6.19 ERA. He's also walked 48 batters and has a whip of 1.68. The last place O's have the fewest wins in the American League. They're also 30 games below 500. Now, Baltimore's also in the bottom 3 in both runs and hits allowed per game. They're taking on a Yankees club who's on a 3-game winning streak. And they also got the W in 6 out of their last 8. The Bronx Bombers are leading the majors in offensive walks at the plate. Aaron Judge also has an OPS of 866. He's been walked 47 times already. Now the outfielder is also batting .282 with 21 home runs. Giancarlo Stanton, he's hit 16 home runs and knocked in 46. Meanwhile, pitching-wise, this New York pitching staff is averaging nearly 11 strikeouts a game at Yankee Stadium. Andrew Heaney's fanned 113 batters already on the season. All of those strikeouts were with the Angels. Now, the lefties also got 6 wins thus far in the year. When it comes to the total on this one, 9 out of New York's last 10 contests stayed under the line. They're also 31-20 to the under in their divisional games. Meanwhile, Baltimore saw 4 out of their last 5 road games stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the New York Yankees -1.5. And the under 9 and a hook. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Mets versus the Marlins, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are -145, number 7. Tyler McGill for New York, Jesus Luzardo for Miami. Despite some shaky numbers out of Luzardo, he's still averaging over a strikeout an inning when he pitches. And despite the recent struggles, Miami still has a winning home record against the NL East. The Fish are in the top 3 in fewest runs allowed at home. They're giving up only 3.4 runs a game at Lone Depot Park. Miami's also holding their opponents to under 7.1 hits a game on their home field as well. Now they're taking on a Mets club who does not play well on the road. They've gotten the W in just 22 out of 51 away games. And they're also winning just 40% of their divisional road games as well. Now this New York Mets lineup is averaging only 3.8 runs a game. They're also in the bottom 5 in the league in hits on average per game as well. And despite some pretty good stuff out of Tyler McGill here this season, well, the righty doesn't have a whole lot of experience. He's got just over 35 innings of work under his belt. So not a very large sample size for McGill. Now, total-wise, New York's going 30-21 to the over when they bat first. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Miami Marlins +1.5. And the over 7 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Toronto -1.5, over 9 and a hook. Washington +$1, over 8.5 runs. New York Yankees -1.5, under 9 and a hook. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 3-0 at our last 3 extra daily pick tier package plays on my Patreon website. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 5-1 in our last 6 MLB tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the Miami Marlins +1.5 and the over 7 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day, and that goes to William Dickey, who said, "Brock, thank you for all your time that you put into this show to help us. Thank you." And, well, I'll tell you what, William, thank you for watching, and thank everybody for watching, because if nobody watched it, there really would be no purpose in creating the content. And I'll tell you what, I love making these videos. I love the preparation. I love crunching the numbers. I love scouting the teams. I love preparing the program for you. Everything that I do here, I absolutely love, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I'm really, really glad that that kind of permeates, through the screen here, and you guys can feel that, because I love everything I do, and I certainly appreciate the feedback, and thank you for letting me know that my efforts are appreciated. It certainly makes me feel good. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're actually going to get access to that content all the way through the end of August. I always tell people, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. You're going to get absolutely just darn near max value signing up here on the 2nd of August. But anyway, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. Patreon bills you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.